Hi and welcome to my first YouTube channel episode of Get Real. Welcome. Today I am going to talk about first home buyers and I'm going to give tips to you as a first home buyer. If you are a seasoned buyer, then you will get no value from this episode. I want to talk to the first home buyer. The reason why is because what I'm seeing out there in the marketplace is you as a first home buyer missing out on properties, becoming incredibly frustrated, getting the raw end of the deal, really uncertain and complex by the maze of real estate purchasing out there in this current marketplace, which we're seeing as very lean stock levels, making it increasingly competitive to secure the property that you want. So these 4 tips. Now, this is more for someone who, or a couple or a group of you who are buying in an established market, not so much off the plan market where the figures and prices are set. This is where there's some negotiations involved and it's a different landscape. So tip number 1, so these 4 tips are going to save you money and give you increased competitive advantage in the marketplace. Tip number 1, and that is build relationships. I like to call it real agentships. This is psychologically going to give you the position of strength when it comes to signing that contract and finding your home. The best way to do this is face-to-face, more so than email and phoning and texting. So don't be scared or don't hesitate to go into those real estate offices. Get to know an agent or certain agents that are local to the town. And this will give you a tremendous advantage when it does come to, when you do find that home and you do want to make that offer. That agent will feel a lot more comfortable with you. He'll know what your circumstances are. You'll know him by name. You'll know a little bit about his personality. And this is a lot of people don't know this and a lot of people don't do this, but this tip alone will give you a very, very good competitive advantage in the marketplace. Tip number 2, contracts. Get an understanding of a contract. Get the agent to give you a contract so that you can have a look at it, get some advice, read over it before your first initial meeting with an agent signing a contract in an office. That way you're not going to be daunted by the terms, you're not going to be daunted by the small print, all these things that are going to help you be a lot more relaxed when it comes to making your initial written formal offer in the agent's office. The other thing you need to do is obviously state to state, there's different legislative requirements when it comes to those contractual obligations that you, as a purchaser. So you need an awareness of that. But irrespective of what state you're in Australia, it does not matter. You need to have a bit of familiarity with the contract before signing it. Tip number 3. This is a very, very important tip. Have an understanding that you are entering into a negotiation. And what I mean by a negotiation is quite simple. People make it complex. Estate agents love to make this complex and bamboozle you with their techniques. Be aware. The vendor's here, you're the purchaser here, all you're going to do is find some middle ground. Now, granted, in this marketplace, we're seeing properties sell for over the asking price. But again, going back to tip number 1, when you've got that relationship with your agent, you'll have a lot more guidance. And this will give you a tremendous competitive advantage. But with negotiations, an example is have an understanding of that the terms are important with a negotiation, as an example. What that means to you is that the settlement, instead of being a 60 or a 90 day, the vendor may prefer a 30-day settlement. It's good to have that awareness going into a negotiation. You need to ask those questions. Do you need to pay a 5% deposit? Do you need to pay a 10% deposit? These sort of things are important to know and have an understanding of the process on how your offer is going to be presented. Very, very important for you as a first home buyer, because if you have no awareness of this process, then you could find yourself missing out and dudding out to another buyer because they are slightly more aware and they've been informed. So negotiation techniques are very important. Google it, read it, speak to an agent, get some advice from local agents or that agent or agents that you're building rapport with. Very, very important. My final tip, which is tip number 4, which I see happen time and time, and in fact it happened to me over the weekend, is outside influences. You as a first home buyer are being bamboozled by the people around you that do care for you, that want to make sure that you are making the right decision in your purchase and acquisition of your home, your first home. But quite often I see outside influences, and an example is Uncle Ted is advising you, who was in real estate back in 1982, about what you should do, how much you should offer, and quite often they can contaminate the sale and really destroy things and muck things up for you. So my opinion to you is, don't let those outside influences so much affect when you do see a property that you love. Go with your gut. You've obviously done your homework and your research about where you choose to live, what street, what precinct, what estate, what location. All those factors are important, but you're the one that has to live there, and you're the one that chooses to do that. So yeah, be mindful of that, and but obviously let them know tactfully that you are taking their advice, taking it on board, but go with your own gut as to what decision you should invariably make. Those 4 tips alone will give you and put you in a good position to secure your next property. They will make you money, and they will give you a competitive advantage when it comes to a multi-offer situation, or when it comes to you buying that first home and securing that first contract with the vendor on the other end. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Can't wait to see you at my next episode. Stay tuned for more Get Real TV. Thank you.